Corner's taken. A really vibrant, venomous volley.
You know what? Screw that game. I just want to play a game that is, fair and perfectly balanced. As all things should be. Ooh, what's this? Why, it is this game. Jump Force. Let's talk about it. Fighting games for me are like a loaf of bread. When you first get it, it's fresh and you want to get stuck in as soon as possible. But after a while, it becomes stale and you want to throw it out. I've played many fighting games in my life, like Street Fighter, Smash Brothers, Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, and the time I fought my cousin for the last sausage roll at his birthday party. No matter how much I may like these games, the novelty just wears off after a while and I move on to something else. Then one day, I came across a type of fighting game I've never played before, and it's called Jump Force. For those who don't know, Jump Force is a fighting game that came out on the 15th of February 2019. It was developed by Spike Chunsoft, or Kunsoft, well, I don't know, who have developed games such as One Piece, Burning Blood, Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Olympics, and Dragon Ball Z for Kinect, just to name a few, and was published by Bandai Namco, who have made so many games I just can't be bothered to list them all. It's a crossover game where some of Shonen Jump's most iconic characters come together to celebrate the comic's 50th anniversary. Oh yeah, and they also beat the shit out of each other. Some people consider this game to be the spiritual successor to J-Star's Victory VS. I remembered when Jump Force came out last year. I always wanted to play it, but I was unfamiliar with most of the characters, and also because it was expensive. Like, look at the price for that. Jesus. During the lockdown, I had the chance to watch some of the shows in which the characters in the game are in, like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fist of the North Star, Breaking Bad. After that, I was able to get the game on the PS Store for a discounted price of only €25. Was it worth it? Well, there is a website dedicated to this game, and the first thing you see is what is pretty much a mission statement, basically telling you what the premise of the game is. Let's read it.
For the first time ever, the most famous manga heroes are thrown into a whole new battleground, our world.
Wait, are you sure about that? I don't know if you know Bandai Namco, but there's a few characters in this game's roster that are from our world.
Jump Force is also making the most of the latest technologies to bring characters in a never-seen-before realistic design.
I don't know how you can make anime realistic. The character design just looks weird, and in some cases terrifying. Some of the characters look directly at you, and it looks like demons sucking out my soul. Or they just look like they don't give a shit. It feels like they're taking the same approach as Super Smash Bros. Brawl. At least Brawl had more personality with its character design, and that game came out 11 years before Jump Force. I mean, look at the covers for both games. They both have a guy with black hair, red top, and blue denim that looks weird in them. Speaking of the cover, let's keep looking at it. It's a decent cover, not the worst, but not exactly the best either. It features Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, Son Goku from Dragon Ball, and Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto in all of their 3D glory, looking like they're about to beat up the nerds behind this game. Which is how I ended up in hospital for 2 weeks and ended up getting 100 stitches. Like every fighting game in existence, you punch, kick, slice, or shoot. Jump Force is no exception. Every character in the game fights completely differently from one another, apart from a few characters who have similar abilities. You can select 3 characters and swap them out for another character during a fight if you wish, by tapping the L2 button, or you can hold down L2 to call upon one of the characters for assistance in battle. Do you want to know what really grinds my gears? Blocking. The guard ability is more OP than it has any right to be. No matter what, you can damage your opponent as long as he or she is blocking or you are blocking. The only way it doesn't work is when you grab them or some attacks like Blackbeard's Seaquake ability, and even then you or your opponent only take a bit of damage. Wouldn't it be great if you have a stamina meter like Smash Brothers when it comes to blocking? It would force the opponent to find different ways of evading attacks. But what would I know? I'm an Irishman, not a game designer. In Jump Force, you could hold down R2 to charge up your ability gauge. The higher the gauge gets, the more times you can use your abilities. By holding down R2 and pressing square, circle or triangle, you get a variety of abilities. When you use Awakening, characters become strong and are capable of sending your opponent flying to another part of the stage while also taking damage, just like the Injustice games. If you hold down R2 and press X, you use the special ability, which almost works like a final smash in Smash Brothers. It takes massive chunks off your opponent. My favourite Awakening ability is All Might's United States of Smash. It just feels right, simply because you can hear the passion coming from the voice actor. The most disappointing Awakening ability, but not necessarily the worst, is Dio's Road Roller. Maybe it's because the anime did it better. The anime version took its time building up suspense as time stops. Then out of nowhere, Dio, with a sadistic look on his face, comes in with a Road Roller and almost flattens Jojo. It's one of my favourite and most iconic moments in all of Jojo. Memes aside, in Jump Force, it's almost as if Dio just wanted to get it over with. The same can be said for most Awakening abilities. I get the game is fast paced and you can't just slow it down, but it's still disappointing nonetheless. The unique characters' interactions are cute if you ask me. They usually happen when characters from the same series go head to head. When characters from different series have different personalities. However, they are few and far between. Every character usually says the same one or two lines of dialogue, and if you go up against someone with the same character, they don't even acknowledge the fact that they look the same. The fact there is little to no customization is something I find unfathomable in a game that came out in 2019. It would be nice to have the option to change the language of the dialogue. I prefer sub over dub, so I don't really mind. But I do feel sorry for those that prefer dub. They had it rough in this game. There should be different costumes for real characters instead of using the same ones. Maybe add music or stages from existing franchises into the game. Imagine fighting in places like the Soul Society from Bleach or the stadium from Yu Yu Hakusho. That would be cool. Having real life cities be stages is fine, but it feels like wasted potential in this field of the game. The music is average, but forgettable. I've played so many matches, and I can't remember a single song from any stage. The only music that sticks into my head on a regular basis is the character selection music. And the music in the lobby. There's potential for more characters from Jump franchises to appear in the game, like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer or Toriko from, well, Toriko, instead of just adding more characters from already existing series. I'm not asking for characters like Saishima, Mob, Edward Elric, Natsu, simply because they're not from Shonen Jump. You can mod the game on the PC version and add them in yourself if that tickles your fancy. Then there's DLC. Ah yes, just like cockroaches, we don't like them, and no matter how hard we try to get rid of them, they keep coming back. While the DLC characters are decent and make the roster bigger and better, I can't help but think paying for nearly a third of the price of GTA San Andreas on the PS Store or a Big Mac meal from McDonald's for one character, it's something I find really stupid. Frieza is just too OP. Look at him, the smug piece of shit. Every time I see this small alien, I want to kick his ass. He has a head bigger than Jupiter. Honestly, whenever I come up against him, I keep expecting Conor McGregor to pop up and say, "You stupid baldy twat." Even this guy doesn't like him. Is it me, or is Frieza one of, if not the toughest characters in the entire game? He seems a lot faster than most characters. I came up against him many times in the story mode, and it took me a few times to beat him. I was able to do it by using my original character and use Pistol Kiss, one of Boa Hancock's abilities, because it has a long range and he can't come near me. I know it's not the right way to win, but when you're in a desperate situation to win, you'll do whatever it takes. It's also offline, so it doesn't matter because
he's still an arsehole.
The story mode is... whatever. It's basically the same as the Avengers, and I'm probably not the first person to make that comparison. Bald man in a leather suit gathering strong individuals to beat bad guys, mindless minions, good guys getting brainwashed by a mysterious object only to snap out of it by getting beaten up, and the heroes winning in the end because of a bomb. The story starts with Frieza fucking shit up in New York, along with some of the mindless minions I was on about earlier called Venoms. Then out of nowhere, Goku appears and fights Frieza. Goku then dodges a laser shot by Frieza, which hits my original character, and I die. Just kidding, Trunks comes to revive me thanks to the Tesseract, some magical cube. Actually, does this sound like music from Spider-Man Homecoming? I guess it's just me. I need to stop with these MCU references. Along with Blackbeard, Toguro and Aizen, they are one bunch of bastards who appear at different points of the story and sometimes team up. There are 3 made up characters that act as the villains of the story, and they are about as fun as stepping on rusty nails. One villain goes,
"Hee hee hee, I would love to stick around, but I must go."
The other one goes,
"Lol, I'm strong, no one can stop me, and I share the same name as an English footballer."
And the other one goes, "I was in a Ridley Scott film." Actually, Light Yagami is in the game. He's not a playable character though, thank God. Imagine him fighting Goku. That would be ridiculous. He's just a guy waiting around Jump Force and would tell you something bad happened and you have to go there and stop it. Oh yeah, and my character can see Ryuk somehow. Okay? In the Death Note universe, the only way you could see a Shinigami like Ryuk is if you own a Death Note yourself. My character must have been up to something. I have to say, one of my favourite Jump Force videos on YouTube is by Loki X, where he puts Light with Jojo's moveset up against Thanos with Blackbeard's moveset, simply because of how bizarre and hilarious it was. The link to the video will be in the description if you want to check it out. That's all I'm going to say about the story. It's a drag. I stopped playing it about halfway through, and I had to look up the ending on YouTube. Let's talk about Sanji. He's one of my favourite characters in anime, so it's no surprise he's in the game. His moveset is pretty cool and his attacks are powerful. He can only use his legs to fight. Since he is a chef, he can't use his hands. But just like Viagra, it doesn't work on women. Sanji not being able to attack girl characters is a catch-22. While yes, it's true that in the manga and the anime, Sanji would never harm a woman, as that was the way he was brought up. And also because he's a horny man.
I need lady!
Honestly, I think it's about time we castrate him for his own good. So it's definitely accurate to his character. Instead of kicking like what he would normally do, he would show affection and throw love hearts at any girl characters. My favourite thing about this is that when he grabs them, he goes in for the kiss and gets a good smack across the face. The love heart eyes are a nice touch too. He also enjoys getting beaten up by these characters. But at the same time, if Sanji is your favourite character to play as, and you end up fighting a team of females only, then he is rendered useless and you have to use a different character. In conclusion, it's a fine game. It's nothing special in terms of the fighting mechanics, but it's still cool having half a century's worth of iconic characters going head to head. Despite the mixed reception this game got, I still enjoyed it. And let's be honest, it's a better crossover fighting game than PlayStation All-Stars. So next time you go to your local game shop and you see a copy of Jump Force for a reasonable price, go get it. Alright, thank you very much for watching the first ever review on my channel. I'm hoping to do a lot more in the future, but you know, hopefully I won't have like this setup right here. Look, I'll show you. Look, this is it. Look, I had my phone on top of this water bottle here. I have this light that's on my desk, you know, because I have the curtains closed, you know, like all the light would be coming in this way. So yeah, I hope you understand, you know, how hard it is, you know, when you don't have that much of a budget. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and hopefully here's to another review.